hello, hello. I am so excited to share my next topics with you. I have decided to do a series under the topic Beyond Forgiveness. What? Is there anything beyond forgiveness? There are quite a few spiritual paths, including religious paths, that teach us or urge us to forgive. And I'm not arguing with that. Those are great things. Those are great movements, great steps. But I don't think it's a final freedom that we're constantly in a process of forgiving. So while we're doing forgiveness and we're still into it, into what the person did, into anger at ourselves, into judgment, stay with it. Stay with it and receive all the benefits like I did and like millions of people have done. It gets us aware that when we're unforgiving, we carry a poison within, and the one that gets killed by the poison is us, actually not the other person, even if you're not behaving in a pretty fashion with them. So this is not any kind of fight with forgiveness or whatever your path calls surrendering your judgments or any version of that. You know what I mean. I just want to get to the topic here. So think of this as a new paragraph. What could be beyond forgiveness? Well, there's something that Oprah Winfrey once said, which really resonated with me at the time. She said, forgiveness is when you no longer spend any time on the subject. Pretty wonderful, right? You really let it go. Forgiveness, in the truest sense, is not where I'm here and the person I'm forgiving is here and I'm holier than thou and I forgive you. That is not forgiveness. That is a distortion. But when you're off that subject and you're not going over it anymore, yay, progress. But what is beyond forgiveness, even that? There is a place of presence. And I've talked about presence before, but I'm coming at it a little bit differently now so that really people can understand it even more deeply. What is presence? Presence is when we show up without a story. We could also call it the radical now, but that's so radical that it doesn't allow people to feel that they can do it. I used to call letting all the stories of past and future go. When we do that in meditation, when we're going to sleep, when we're in nature, when we're listening to music for some people, there is no other if you think about it. If you're thinking, oh, I'm so fat, or I'm not smart enough, or anything about yourself you're still not present, right? You're still in judgment of yourself. And so there are two of you, the you that's judging and the you that's receiving it. And so it might as well be somebody else. But let's just go to that place before you go to sleep. Before you fall all the way asleep. I've mentioned it before, but not everybody makes it their own. So I keep talking about things in the hopes that I can convey it with new words so that it becomes a home for you like it is for me. So I read somebody's post today who talked about walking in the woods when she could be present to the sounds and the reaction of the ground to her feet. Do you think that's presence? I do. It's not any higher mystical transformation, but we're not taught in our culture and in most cultures anymore how to be present. And there are so many benefits when we let the thinking go, let the feelings go, let even the separate personality go, which would mean the body. So when that person said they were feeling the ground and hearing the sounds, it wasn't from a limited body shape. It was from sensations, hearing, feeling, awareness, but no stories. I mean, maybe there would be a feeling of pleasure or joy, but I hesitate to say feelings because it's a temporary experience when we're present, because the next second has a new experience. We're not even processing, because when we're processing, we're back in what happened. And so let's just take my friend walking in the woods. The next second, there could be a thunderstorm and a shower, and then she'd be experiencing the rain, and maybe she'd feel cold, and maybe she'd have chills. So it's not just joy, and it's an awakeness to this exact moment. But if she were saying, oh, this is terrible, I should have come with an umbrella, or oh, I'm going to be sopping wet. Oh, my mother said, when you get cold and wet, you get colds. I wonder if that's true. Do you see how she wouldn't be present anymore? So all of the topics I'm going to talk about going forward are about how to become present, and even more, the value of dropping the story and the value of not locating yourself inside your body, inside your personality. I'm not saying that in the world you don't need to have a job, and that person that has that job goes to work and they look a certain way and they dress a certain way and they have to perform. There's plenty of room for all of that. You can be a person and be the best person you would like to be, but let's take a break from that and at least have another gear. You know, in your car, maybe there are 4 gears. And let's say in your life, now we're going to add a 5th gear to your experience of life. A place where you can drop the stories. It's a stateless state. So I hate to say state, because state we want to hold on to, like, oh, I want to stay in that. No, it's actually so alive that every second is new. And that's possible for each and every one of us. We do not need to become enlightened masters to have that be a gear that is available at any time. And I'll give you one clue. There's something the same, even though our senses might at one moment be chilly, at another moment enjoy the crackle under our feet of leaves and branches. There is a calmness underneath before stories get going. That's always the same. Before you fall asleep, you always pass through this moment when you know you're not asleep, but you've left the day. You're not filled with anything, thoughts or feelings. That's a precious teacher. When someone is available to you and they're not judging you, they're not thinking about their shopping list, they're not thinking about their stories from their lives, and they just show up and they look into your eyes and they notice, oh, I didn't see that her mouth is a bit crooked. Oh, hello, crooked mouth, like a presence, a noticing, but no story. Just then the next moment, when they're looking at you and available to you because you are the next moment. That's a little hint of what lies ahead of us. And I would like to invite you to a free offering. And it's the first and third Mondays of most every month. And it's from 1:30 to 3 Eastern time, and it's on Zoom. And as I said, it's totally free. What do you get there? You're going to get an experience. We're going to do a very short, direct experience so that you have an opportunity to let something go. And there's going to be a short talk, and I'm going to work on talking less. And I want this to be a time when you can come and ask anything about where you're stuck. But what if this person wronged me? What if they're still wronging people? What if whatever? Bring your stuff. It is so valuable to have a place to go with your innermost blocks. And so, especially if you are ready to interact and speak and make use of my experience, I am not an enlightened master. I have never pretended to be. I am a person who used to live in psychological suffering. I lived in judgment, even of one of my daughters because of her weight. I experienced extreme things such as molestation and the death of a child. And I know that I may always drop into presence where freedom is available. What is freedom? Freedom is to let the stories go. Past, future, judgments, all of it. Are you in La La Land? No. When you're in this place, you're more awake, more present, more loving, because you have capacity. Your energy isn't being siphoned off into unforgiveness, resentments, stories about what you need to get or do in order to be successful in your life. So come, and I'll give you a little clue. Our very first meeting, each of the meetings are going to have a topic underneath this larger subject of beyond forgiveness. And the first meeting, the first meeting is going to be on the subject of willingness. What is willingness and what is it not? So I hope you'll join us, and I will put the link in. There will be replays, but you will get the most out of this and the most out of me if you come live. So I invite you, and I look forward to seeing you. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.